All right, so we're recording. When I went into the download graded assignment before, what I noticed was I did that, and then it pulls up and see if it does it this time. Okay, it doesn't seem like it did it this time, but the one time it said basically because it was shared with me, it was in the graders like trash folder. Uh, oh, here it is. Files and owner's trash. You won't be able to access this file soon. If you still need access, please download it or copy and paste its contents. So I can do that. It's not a problem, but it's just kind of um,
Yeah,
uh,
I noticed that too. I'll look into that to ask our team how that works because I was getting the same error and I wasn't sure if it was unique to me. But yeah, it should automatically be saved to your drive.
yeah. Okay. Cool. So I have the. Can I share my screen with you also on? I can.
Yeah, if you click on the top left, it's green. It says screen share.
Yep, I see it. Okay,
Awesome.
I'm gonna do that. We'll see if my computer can kind of handle all of that. And let's see. Cool. Is that yeah my screen?
I think it's slowly coming. Yep, awesome.
Okay. Cool. So this is kind of the assignment that I got, and I have the other one that I uploaded, the new assignment that I'd actually um, um, is a better assignment to look at, and so they're finishing that up, and they should have that done by the end of this week, beginning of next week. So that'll be great to have feedback on that piece as well, just so, because it's a little bit more substantive um, of an assignment. So let's see. Hide this. Great. So, is there anything that you kind of want me to start off with?
Yeah, so I guess when you get your report or got this report back from the Green Network, which page would you like immediately look at first? Like, what are your natural instincts?
So, I think when I first jumped onto it, I see this and this main page here with the let's get started, and it looks like it's the for the grader. So on the teacher side, there might be sort of a cleaner way that when you open up the document, um, because it kind of just seems like there's a lot going on this page right now, and none of this particularly is applicable to me, for the time being. So I think the first I would definitely jump to the individual grade summary and then the grade summary. And then some of the things that I noticed is that there's a lot of the windows, the panes are frozen, which is definitely helpful in some circumstances. Um, but especially with sheets kind of takes up a lot of space in general. So there's kind of a lot of like, and this not depends on the computer you're using and whether you download it to Excel or have it open just on Google Sheets, right? There's kind of a lot of space that is not wasted, but that's frozen. And so I'm looking at particular students, and I can't really see these comments here without scrolling. Um, and the comments themselves and the feedback was excellent. And obviously, like um, my scoring system and all that for this assignment says it was kind of a test assignment, wasn't wasn't great. So no worries there. But yeah, they kind of these. I wonder if there's kind of a way to tighten these up just on a visual perspective. Um, then let's look at the class summary. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at class areas of strength, class areas for growth. Good. Um, B9 and G9. Is that a student? What does that indicate?
So if you go to your class summary, we're on class summary, right?
Yep.
So go back to the page where you saw all of the individual students in rows.
Okay, I got it. So it's saying the student that's in B9.
Right. The assignment didn't have like clear legible student names and
Sure,
then a greater pool of students identified as the self too.
sure. Okay. That's all right. I gotcha. Um, students So I think I like this class areas for strength and for growth. Top performers is good and need support. That's great. Let's see. Obviously, this would be a little bit more meaningful with a better assignment. Um, with the average, medium, owner like that. So teacher instructions. See, okay, I didn't. I guess I didn't see that right away, so I wouldn't jump to that. Tab contains a grade breakdown and feedback for each student, class summary, and student reports. Okay, to print them all together, that's a good feature. Is that the way that most teachers would use it? Is to print them?
So that's what we're kind of trying to find out. There are teachers who actually will print each individual tab and then staple it to the back of the student's time and hand it back. There are also teachers who explore things in a digital way, so they're sharing their student feedback either over email or through their Google Classroom, etc. So I guess my question from here would be, for like this, what are some of the next steps you would take? And they don't have to be very specific; you can be pretty general.
Yeah, I think for me, having just a few students and then being fifth and sixth, and where our use of like classroom and stuff is not consistent, I would probably print it out for them. Um, and I think that would be fairly easy. Is there a way to batch print like sort of all of the rest of these remaining tabs? That's more of a like
So you hit Control C and then say hit print active sheets, and that would be
yep.
the quick and easy way.
Okay, so then you don't have to do it for each other student. Good. Okay. And then I think I'm not sure how it would be on sharing each individual tab for a student, but that might get a little bit tedious on the teacher's end unless there's an easy way to do that I'm like could I share just this tab with a student
So
if I were to do it
if you
digitally?
did one, yeah. So if you were to do it digitally, it's interesting. That's something that your teachers may like copy and paste it and send it to a student via email.
Okay.
In terms of digitally, what does that look like for you and your students? Are you using any type of platform? Do you email students? What does that look like?
For like digital feedback kind of thing? Just on Classroom mostly, Google Classroom. So they have email addresses, but that's just tied to their um, we don't use them frequently. But I mean, again, we're fifth and sixth grade, so I would imagine that I would use email more frequently for an older group in high school. Um, so for me, digitally, I would just share something with them. Yeah, on Classroom.
What I'm hearing is almost like this would be a bit too much to share over like a digital message, or do you
Yeah,
think that
I think so. I think that they might get. Let's see. Okay, let's see what this even looks like. If I if I were to just try this into like an email, like you said, I mean, I'm sure you've looked at it before, but I'll see what's going on here. The computer's not running that quickly because of.
programs running?
Yeah, I have. Oh, pasted in the wrong part. Okay, so it pastes pretty well. So that I don't think that would be a concern mostly. If my student, let's see here, what you did well and opportunity for improvement, I think that would be the biggest piece here. And then overall grades. Okay, so I think that would be easy enough for a student now that I try it out. So that wouldn't really be of concern. I wonder if there's a way. Let's see here. Do you link? My first inclination would be so rather than scroll through all these tabs to click on all my different students, would be to have like a link so if I click Ashanti's name here, like it would link or it would bring me to her tab. You know what I mean? So that I could just have it easily, and maybe that was if I included a roster, that would be there maybe. And I will do that for the next one is update the roster to the course. But yeah, that might be easier rather than like remembering who student 1, 2, 3 is.
Yeah.
So those are kind
Now,
of
if you just like, I have a question. If we take a few steps back in terms of like the mechanism for giving students feedback and think about like the normal cadence going on in your classroom already, opportunity B to share this individual report with students. So, for example, even outside of the grade network, if you do grade an assignment and you give it back to the student, what does that process look like? Are you just handing back the rubric with the grades on it? Do you have a day to meet with students?
So I meet with students every week, generally Fridays. So I would generally pass things back during that time, and then we would kind of talk over any feedback that is sort of relevant and kind of sticks out from the norm. In some weeks that looks different for each student. Some students might not have any kind of um, pressing needs that we need to talk about, or anything that's like major, and then others that we would spend more time doing that.
Awesome. So that happens every Friday, so it's like a cadence for that to be happening. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And so you have not yet shared this report with the students, but it sounds like it's something that you might be willing to try out with your students.
Uh-huh. I would probably wait to yeah, I might wait until the other assignment. Um just because this assignment is kind of really far back by now, as well as um
Yeah,
just not yeah.
that obviously makes a lot of sense. So, but in terms of like how you would share that, is that Friday meeting? Does that seem like the opportunity of when you would share
Yep.
those reports with students?
Yep. Um I quick question. So the I have the timer for the what's it called? The screencast is for 15 minutes. So is there anything else that you want me to walk through on the screencast before that timer is up? But
So I just want to refer you back to the class summary page.
uh-huh.
Have. And so thinking on this class summary, what is the value of the class-wide insights you're seeing here as a teacher?
First, I think if I have the assignment is covering a standard and I can see whether or not they have mastery of that standard and then to what level. So maybe um, the objective for the assignment, they kind of reached one level but not kind of fully there. So I would see that in the strength versus areas for growth. In that, what levels of thinking are they using, and that sort of thing. So it's like, is that objective being met, or and that's great actually from an outsider's perspective, because as a teacher, right, you can kind of fit in like, oh yeah, they're mastering this objective at this, like, they're analyzing, food webs or whatever it might be. But from an outsider's perspective, it's great to see, are they just kind of identifying what a food web is, or are they really putting together, multiple things?
Yeah, and then in terms of the like top performers and need support, would this kind of provide any value for ability grouping or differentiating with students?
Yeah, I think so. I would turn immediately to the need support, and kind of group them and kind of readdress look at their feedback specifically from here, and then look at what they need again. Are they missing the concept entirely? Was it the format of the assignment? What is it? Are they actually missing um, the objective or the standard, or is it more like kind of activity related? That would be my first thing to jump to, and then maybe have the top performers kind of jump in and help, or
I
move
love
on to
that.
something a little bit more complex.
I love that. Just one other thing that you have the ability to do. So let's say student four, it's okay if the timer runs out, no problem. Let's say we go to student four on one of the tabs. As a teacher, edit, so you can edit the feedback that your
Okay.
grader provided.
Uh-huh.
Maybe there's something specific you wanted to tell that utilize from this teacher, or would you rather use it, specific to the grader? What would you do with this kind of?
My guess is that I would probably, if I were planning on printing it, or I could do that digitally as well, I'd probably add it in a different colors. first instinct